Hey everyone, and welcome to your personalized deep dive. You know, credit scores, those things, they can feel kind of like a secret code almost.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, kind of like a financial fingerprint.
exactly. One that lenders use to figure out just how trustworthy you are, financially speaking, of course.
Hmm.
But hey, we're here to crack that code. I've got a mountain of research right here, and honestly, I'm kind of curious. What's like the biggest myth, the one thing people always get wrong about these credit scores?
Hmm. That's a good one. I think a lot of people, they think missing a payment, it's like, oh, well, a small slip up, right? A one-time thing.
Yeah, happens to the best of us.
Right. But the thing is, it can really stick with you. We're talking years. It can stay on your report, and that affects everything. Getting a good apartment, even landing your dream job, it all ties in.
Oh, hold on, seriously. It impacts your job prospects too.
Oh, yeah. Some employers, they'll actually look at credit reports as part of their background checks. It's all about responsibility, you see, and how you handle things.
Huh. Never knew that. Makes sense, though, when you put it that way.
Yeah.
So we got scores, reports. It's a lot to take in.
Hmm.
If someone's like totally new to this whole credit score thing, how would you sum it up?
Basically, it boils down to a number, right? That number, it shows how creditworthy you are based on how well you've borrowed and repaid in the past. Think of it almost like a report card, but for your finances.
Okay, love that. A report card for your finances. But what goes on it? What makes up that score?
So it's kind of like a recipe. There are a few key things. Most important, payment history. Can't stress that enough.
Right. Got to pay those bills on time.
Absolutely. It makes up like 35% of your score, and that's not by accident. Lenders, they need to know you're reliable, that you'll pay them back.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
What about how much credit you're actually using? Does that matter?
So 100%, you're talking about credit utilization. This one, it trips people up constantly. The magic number is 30%. You want to stay under that, out of your total available credit.
Okay, so like if I've got a credit card, say with $1,000 limit,
Right, you wouldn't want to have more than $300 of that as your balance.
so it's not just about living within your means, but also having that buffer. Yeah.
Exactly. Imagine this. You're trying to get a loan, right? Payments are perfect, always on time, but your credit utilization, through the roof.
A red flag.
Exactly. Makes lenders nervous. Might seem like you're depending too much on credit.
So even with a perfect payment record, going over that 30% mark can really hurt. Bet a lot of people don't realize that. What else is in this credit score formula of theirs?
This one's big too, how long your credit history is. Think of it like this. The longer you've been responsible with credit,
The more they trust you.
exactly. Like any relationship, trust takes time to build.
So for someone who's just starting out building their credit history from scratch, what's the key takeaway?
Patience, my friend, patience. It won't happen overnight, and that's okay.
Don't get discouraged if you don't see that perfect score right away.
Exactly. It's all about consistency, good habits. Those make all the difference over time.
It's all about building those good habits, right? Slow and steady wins the race, they say. We've talked about, like, the history part of credit, but what about the types? If you've got credit cards, loans, does that even matter for your score?
Oh, it definitely matters. Having a mix of credit, it's actually a good thing, you know?
Yeah.
Shows you can handle different types of debt, credit cards, installment loans, that kind of stuff.
So it's good to have a little variety.
It can be, yeah. But here's the catch. Don't go crazy opening a ton of new accounts at once.
Right, that probably sets off some alarm bells, doesn't it?
Exactly. Every time you apply, it gets logged as what they call a hard inquiry on your report. Do too many too fast, and, well, it can hurt your score. Makes lenders wonder what's going on, think you're desperate for credit or something.
So even though having different types of credit is good long term, it's not about just racking up applications left and right. Gotcha.
Exactly. Strategy is key. Got to build that credit profile the right way over time.
This is great, really helpful stuff. But let's get down to brass tacks here. Someone's listening, they're fired up, ready to boost their score. What's the first thing they should do?
First things first, make sure you're always paying on time. Every single bill. Sounds basic, but it makes all the difference.
Seriously, can't stress that enough. Set up those auto pays, reminders on your phone, whatever works.
Exactly. Like having a personal assistant for your bills keeps you on track.
Now, debt, that's a big one. Any advice for tackling that, especially credit card debt?
Absolutely. Two popular methods, snowball and avalanche. Snowball, you focus on the smallest debt first, pay that off completely, while making minimum payments on everything else.
Ooh, I like that. You get those quick wins, keeps you motivated.
Exactly. Builds momentum. Now, avalanche, that's more about saving money on interest. You target the debt with the highest interest rate first.
So if you're all about strategy, minimizing those interest payments, Avalanche is the way to go.
You got it. Now, for anyone who's just starting to build their credit, secured credit cards can be a great option.
Yeah, those are interesting. So for someone who's totally new to this, what exactly is a secured card?
Think of it like a credit card with training wheels. You put down a deposit, which usually becomes your credit limit.
Okay, so you're kind of guaranteeing it with your own money.
Right. But here's the key. The lender, they report your payments, just like a regular card. So you build your credit history.
Well, it's like a stepping stone to those unsecured cards eventually.
Exactly. Now, another option some people use, becoming an authorized user on someone else's account.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that. How does that work exactly?
So say you've got a family member, a friend, someone you really trust, right? And they've got good credit.
Yeah, they're like credit superstar.
Exactly. They can add you to their account as an authorized user. Their positive history, it actually becomes part of your credit report too.
Really? So it's like a credit boost from someone with good standing.
It can be, yeah, but it's not without its risks, obviously.
Yeah, I was just thinking there's got to be some trust involved there, right?
Yeah.
It's a big decision for sure, not something to jump into lightly.
Right. You're linking your credit to theirs, basically. Their habits, good or bad, they're going to show up on your report too.
Definitely something to talk through, make sure everyone's on the same page. Well, we've covered a ton today. What makes a good score, how to bump it up, all that good stuff. But before we go, why does it even matter so much?
Honestly, it's more than just a number. A good credit score, it opens doors. Financial doors you might not even realize are there.
It's about having options, right?
Exactly. Want that dream house? Good credit gets you a better interest rate. New car? Same thing. Even just having more choices for credit cards, it all comes back to that score.
Like financial freedom in a way.
You said it. You're not limited. You've got the power to make choices. Go after what you want.
I got to say, I thought I had this whole credit score thing figured out, but this has been eye-opening. Any last words of wisdom for our listeners out there?
Just remember, building good credit, it's a marathon, not a sprint. It takes time, effort, but it's so worth it. Start small, be consistent, you'll see the results over time.
Love it. Play the long game. Thanks so much for breaking it all down for us.
Happy to be here.
And thanks to all of you for joining us on this credit score deep dive. See you next time.